The funeral industry in Gauteng is already starting to feel the brunt of South Africa's third wave of infections. Dr. Lawrence Konyana of the National Funeral Directors Association now joins us live to give us an update on the situation in the province. Dr. Konyana, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, as the COVID-19 deaths surge in the third wave, which has gripped Gauteng, speak to us about some of the challenges faced by undertakers.
Good afternoon and afternoon to your listeners too. Yes, indeed, the numbers have picked up, and I think some of the challenges that we're finding is that, we're starting to run a bit out of capacity, but, with the first wave and the second wave, we did make provision for that. So we're starting to have congestion again, and especially in areas where people still bury on Saturdays, it seems to be a problem.
Now, there's also a significant increase in the number of cluster deaths that undertakers are dealing with. What are your members doing to try and manage the situation?
Look, I think we're trying to encourage people to bury a bit quicker, and so that they also observe the COVID protocols in accordance with the regulations.
So we also understand that some undertakers are also starting to run out of cold storage and coffins as well. How dire is the situation?
Well, at the moment, I think it might affect other areas, but in Gauteng in particular, so far, I haven't had any reports of people running out of coffins. Most of us carry enough stock. And instead of even in terms of storage capacity, most funeral parlors in Gauteng at the time, they did increase their storage capacity.
Now, this pandemic has been with us for some time now, over a year. Now, as of the funeral industry, I want to get an idea of the type of lessons that you've learned from the first as well as the second wave of infections.
Well, I think one of the biggest lessons is to take, the whole issue of hygiene very seriously, and also training especially for our staff, also for the general public, because I think sometimes we tend to relax, especially the public as well. For example, if someone dies of normal, any other diseases except COVID, people tend to be more relaxed, but they forget it's actually people who come to the funerals that are more in danger.
Now, in preparing for this interview, we also got note that there are some concerns raised about the pressure on undertakers. This is in terms of vehicles, in terms of facilities and other equipment that's used by this industry. What can you tell us about this?
Well, like I said before, if funerals, traditionally our people bury mostly on Saturdays, and this increases the pressure on us in terms of vehicles, because you can imagine there's a congestion in the cemeteries, so it takes longer. So one has to have quite a large fleet to accommodate all those funerals on Saturdays. Whereas if they are spread during the weeks, it lessens the burden a bit.
Now, you speak about people burying on Saturdays. Now, the Ekurhuleni municipality has already taken the decision to suspend burials on Sundays. What has been the impact of this decision?
Well, that's unfortunate, and we have engaged them, and they said they will review the decision, and so far they haven't come up with anything. So that means all the funerals can only take place during the week and Saturdays.
So we are waiting to hear from the President at 8 p.m. this evening. Has there been any interaction or any communication between yourselves or inputs that you have given in terms of safety, in terms of ensuring that people have the right equipment to ensure that they are safe?
Unfortunately, there hasn't been from the government. We are always the last to be engaged with, and through our insistence.
Now, there were also concerns raised last year regarding permits. Have you managed to rather go through or rather fix this issue?
Well, in some areas, it has been sort of municipality by municipality, but it's still the issue with those who don't have permits, and with them storing with those who have permits. Different funeral parlors have made arrangements with those who are permitted to do so and with those who are not permitted to do so. But it's still an ongoing problem.
Dr. Lawrence Konyana speaking to us there about the type of regulations and pressure that the funeral industry has had to endure over the past year.